TitleMatchNetwork.com.
During the time of Crockett, Watts sold his UWF to Crockett, and
we went out there.
you went out there, you and Tim,
Right.
won the belts. You were almost like an outside team.
We won the belts from Sting and Steiner.
Right.
Rick Steiner and Sting.
Right.
You know,
and then you lost it to Adams and Terry Taylor in the Omni, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
What was it hard being an outside team? An NWA team going to that Mid-South region still, being on that UWF TV as like an NWA team. And do you think it was a mistake that they never did UWF versus NWA? Do you think that could have been a hot
I think that could have been great.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could have been great. But at the time they would send out superstars from like the Mid-Atlantic area
Mm-hmm.
and quote unquote hot shot our shows and then take the superstars back, and then our houses would drop. And not that I don't, say that that's one person's fault. I'm not pointing fingers. And looking back on it now, I understand how they do that. They wanted a big house and they got it,
Right.
But I just think it left us flat
Mm-hmm.
when they pulled them back.
It absolutely does. And the Booker, I'll tell you, that's exactly what it does. You draw one big house, then you suck.
Right. And we struggled, and that's where the Jim Crockett, the contracts came in, because we were guaranteed more money than we'd ever even heard of. You know what I mean? I mean, it wasn't a lot of money.
Was that when they were moving the office to Dallas or something?
Bingo.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Moving the offices. We moved to Dallas.
Really?
I had my truck repossessed. I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor with no nothing but a TV and a mattress in the apartment.
Right.
And that was the biggest contract I'd ever been offered in my life.
Right.
And that's when I had to call my cuz
Right.
and say, Shark, I need you to,
Yeah,
I need you
wow.
to circle. I need you to circle because I need some help,
Yeah, that
So-
was the end. That was the end.
And that's, that was it. And many a phone call to Jim Crockett and say, hey, you guaranteed us this money.
And I'll give you an example of how that happens. They sent me down to, Tampa was sucking. They sent me down there and I ran Bill Dundee's. They were drawing like $3,000. I ran Bill Dundee's head in the cake.
Mm-hmm.
We went to $12,000. No, I'm sorry. We went to $21,000
Mm-hmm.
from that. So then we sent all the superstars down to St. Pete because it jumped that much with just me doing that. And Brad was with me. He was on the card with me, and sold out St. Pete from 21,000 to about 100-something.
Bayfront Center. Right?
Yeah, and after that, we all left and went back, zipped right down again. We got the big house, and we did it in 2 steps.
Right.
Head in the cake, 21 from. No, I'll tell you exactly what it was. I'm sorry. They were drawing $7,000. The head in the cake deal, and I said, he's the man from down under. You're going to go way down under. And boom, in the cake jumped from 7 to 21. And then the next time we brought Dusty, the whole crew, Hannibal, Hawk, me and Brad against I forget who. But it sold out the next time. And we all left, went back, territory went right back.
What do you think was another death of the? Do you think I guess it was in, early '86 when the NWA champion stopped touring the other territories. Like they cut him from going to World Class, they cut him from going to maybe Portland and stuff. Do you think that hurt the territories too when they didn't have that
Sure.
traveling champion?
Yeah, I think so. I think that they had a great formula, and when they started changing it, that old saying, if it's not broken, don't try to fix it. And it wasn't broken; it's perfect back then.
What, do you think possibly because the Sam Munchniks, the Paul Bosch's, the Eddie Grahams, they're dying or retiring? Do you think
Sure.
that's the promoter?
Certainly,
Yeah.
because they had an ironclad grip on it,
Mhm.
and they kept it right, and it was just done right to me. Of course, I'm an old timer saying this,
Mhm.
take it for what it's worth, and I was there and I lived it, and I love the way it was run.
Mhm.
I love to see the world champion come to town because everything sold out.
Mhm.
No matter who he was the world champion.
Did the world champion get really? What did they get? 10%,
13.
13?
I think 13% and 3% went back to the Mushnick office. That's a lot of money in a year. All the world champions get rich.
Who was the best drawing world champion?
Hard to say. In their era,
that's real hard to say.
all you can do is sell out a building.
Right. Right.
then you
And I
can't
think
go
they all
anywhere
did
with
that.
They all
I
did
think they
that.
all did that.
What do you think was the strongest of the territories, the 70s or late 80s? Because 70s was really not as much TV as the 80s. But did the 70s draw more than the 80s generally?
Yeah, much more.
Yeah, I think
Much
so.
more, much more, much more stories told, and I watched it all happen. It was magic, magic.
What was the transition for Georgia Championship Wrestling to, I guess, like Crockett? How did that come about?
Now, what do you mean by that?
Well, there was the Superstation with Barnett and everything, and then it
Right.
turned into
And then
like
it
an
became
NWA Crockett. How did
World
that
Championship.
World
Yeah,
Championship?
that's right.
How did that transition happen?
Well, money. It was all about money,
Mm-hmm.
and Crockett had the money.
Uh-huh.
And too bad he lost it, but he had the money at the time. I traveled, Brad and I in '86, we flew all over this country in his Learjet, and had a good time, but he spent money recklessly and finally lost it.
Do you think if that didn't happen, how long do you think Georgia Championship Wrestling would have
Still be going.
still be going?
I think so. I think honestly, I think Ted Turner would probably still want to be involved with wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a
He's just a
Southern
great guy.
boy from the get go, and not that that's got anything to do with wrestling, but by God, NASCAR and wrestling go together. But you know, Ted Turner was a Southern boy, and wrestling made him some money, and he was cable before cable was cool, and
Right.
he really, I mean, you know, it was just, I don't know, it was impressive in the early days, you know, really impressive to be around Ted Turner because he was there a lot.
And he'd bring all the movie stars back to see us.
You know, you saw him there on a daily basis, you know, and that was impressive.
He'd come through with Raquel Welch. And
Yeah, we walked through one day with Raquel Welch, and everybody's jaw hit the floor. Like, she was like, even then, I don't know, she was probably 40 something then, but she was hot enough. Oh,
Yeah.
she was beautiful.
But no, he'd come back. Say hello to the boys, honey.
Going back to early on with you, who's or no, going back to Crockett's, I guess, and when they started taking over, Dusty and the Starcades and everything, and they started to get their national push. They were like the number 2, I guess, maybe number 1, going back and forth. What was Crockett's mistake in '86? I mean, you guys were both there, or maybe going into '87.
I don't know. Crockett had a lot of good talent.
Yeah, he
Crockett
had
a
the
whole lot of good
best talent available.
Right.
He had the best talent available. And
Do you think because they tried to get out of the Carolinas, that's when the problems started, when they started going to LA and stretching it, or?
Very, very possibly, because we were on a lot of those trips, and some of the houses were very poor. Probably weren't as strong out there as they thought they were, because we were there. We saw the houses.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, we drove a heck of a house. We went to El Paso one time, then we drove a big crowd in El
Yeah.
Paso. And we went across to Mexico with Hawk and Animal, had some great Mexican food. But that was still south there. But when you get to LA and farther out there, you're not as popular out there.
There were
Right.
just certain areas of the country that Vince ruled. You know, the Northeast mainly.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
He always dominated. We couldn't touch him.
NWA is Philly, and
Yeah.
Philly South was good, but you couldn't even.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think he overtaxed himself and spent way too much money. And he made Lex Luger he made him that huge offer, and then had to call him in and tell him, I can't pay you. He didn't pay Brad what he wanted to pay.
Yeah, there were several contracts that he didn't that
That he
Jim
couldn't.
Crockett didn't
He couldn't do
fulfill. And,
Towards the end.
right,
Right.
towards the end, and that's, you know.
Of course, Brad got his money. I don't think Lex did.
No, I think Lex got pennies on the dollar. You know,
Right.
He got pennies on
but
it.
my contract was considerably less.
And my nephew's a lawyer.
Yeah,
His
so-
first cousin's a lawyer, so one letter's on it.
Yeah.
And the rest of his contract was paid
yeah.
in cash.
Title Match Network, your source for everything pro wrestling, with exclusive live pay-per-views featuring top talent from around the world.
Oh, I like that one.
Details direct from the source with deep diving shoot interviews and podcasts.
I love it. I love being a part of Title Match Network.
Get extreme with exclusive death matches. Through the door! And of course, the best selection in women's wrestling available.
What's gonna happen?
With thousands of clips featured on Title Match Network's YouTube channel with over 2.3 million subscribers. All at the tips of your fingers. Every style available 24/7 on demand. Visit TitleMatchNetwork.com to sign up today and start watching instantly.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.